Hello, my name is Mary Decatur and I'm an application engineer coming to you from X-Rite Incorporated. I work in our imaging and media team, and today I'm going to introduce you to our new i1Studio software program. And on that note, let's go ahead and launch into this exciting application and take a look. So now that we've opened the i1Studio software application, once again, we're going to go to the workflow selector, only this time instead of going to the display calibration, we're going to select printer calibration, color print. With the color print application open, you'll notice that the workflow is going to be very similar to what you had in the module for monitor profiling. Once again, we have 5 icons on the bottom of the window that you can navigate through clicking on the next or previous option, as well as you can jump ahead through these by just simply clicking on the icons at the bottom of the window. This isn't something that you probably will need to do going through a printer profile, but it's nice to know that that ability is there. On the top left is going to be your help information. This is going to kind of guide you through profiling, and it'll give you tips on how to print out your test charts, as well as below this are some related videos, how to measure a printer patches and how to calibrate i1Studio device. These can be very useful, particularly for the first time that you've gone through this type of a process and haven't used the device. It will guide you through on how to correctly go through and glide the device over the printed patches. As you can see in the video, the instrument is starting out on the white of the paper, gliding through the patches, and then once again ending on the white of the paper. But we'll go back to that shortly. So on the first page, or the first part of the workflow, we're going to be in the printer profiling. Here's where you're going to select the printer. In our case, we're going to use a Canon Pro 100 series. The size of the paper, which I have sheet pages that are in fact 8.5 by 11, but you'll notice in the drop down you have many different selections available. You can switch the units in either inches or millimeters, as well as give the paper a description, which I've already selected luster, which is the type of media substrate that we'll be profiling today. Once you have these options completed, underneath the image of the test chart, you're going to have the option to either print or to save the test chart. Once we have our test chart printed, then we're going to go either next, or once again, we can click on the measurement tab at the bottom of the window. Before you are allowed to do any types of measurement, the software will indicate if the device needs to be calibrated. If it's not in the correct position, it's going to prompt you to move the rotary dial to the 7 o'clock position. Once again, this is much easier to do when you have the device outside of the zippered pouch. When you're going through a printer profile process, there's no reason for you to ever have the instrument in the pouch. It's best to get the measurements directly from the device onto the media. So we're going to go ahead and rotate the device into the 7 o'clock position, and now we'll press on the calibrate option, which will send the device into a calibration mode. Once the calibration is finished, your software is going to prompt you once again to move the instrument into the measurement position. And we'll rotate it back to a 6 o'clock position, and now we'll be prompted to print or to measure our printed test chart. Once the device has been calibrated, the software is going to prompt you to begin measurement. So as you'll notice, you're going to be measuring page 1 of 1, measuring column 1 on page 1. The software, once again, is going to expect that you're starting at the bottom of the page with the optics of the device on the white of the paper, pressing the button in on the white of the paper. You're going to scroll past all of the patches back onto the white of the paper at the top of the same page, and then you will be prompted to move forward with the yellow marquee. If the measurements are not correct, you'll notice that what will happen is you're going to get a red marquee around the patches, and it will prompt you to scan the column again. One thing to take note of as you're beginning the measurements on each row, you'll notice that the patches are going to show a diagonal line through them, showing you what was expected to be measured versus what was measured. This is a visual representation only and is not going to affect the outcome of your profile. So don't be concerned if your patches don't measure up correctly or look exactly the same. The other thing that I'd like to know is that as you start the measurement up the first row, you're going to hear a beep when the device is ready if your sound is turned on. If the measurements are not done correctly, it will beep at you 3 times. So once you have all of these rows completed, we're going to go ahead and click on Next. And then at this point, based on the measurements of the first test chart, the second test chart generation will be in progress. And this is where you're going to be prompted to print out your second chart. Click on Next. And now, once again, we're going to go ahead and begin reading the second page of our patches for our printer profile. Press the button in, wait for the beep, scroll across the top of the screen, and the yellow marquee proceeds to the second row. Once we've completed all of the measurements, go ahead and once again select Next. And now the only thing left for us to do is give our profile a proper name and save the profile. As you'll notice, i1Studio automatically is going to include the name of your printer, in this case Canon Pro 100 series, the name of the media that you've selected from the first step under the printer settings, today's date, 2017, October 24th, and then the very last set of numbers here is the time, 1440. As you notice, it's in military. Some people choose to take some of this off and give it a more custom name. I would probably recommend leaving it something very similar to this so that when you go on and you're trying to use your profile, you're familiar with what the name of your profile is for when you select it. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Save Profile option, and you'll see once again the profile generation is in progress while i1Studio processes this data. At the bottom of the window, there's also the icon that shows the i1 Profiler. At this time, there's a question mark. Once this profile is completed, as with the other steps, that question mark will disappear and you will be at 100% so that you know that your profile has in fact completed generation. This process may take a couple of moments. And then once you do see this prompt, you'll show the profile has been created. It'll give you again the name of your profile. This is again very important to remember so you know how to select the correct profile moving forward. And all you're going to simply do here is say OK. You still will see the Save Profile option, but this is no longer going to be selectable. You can either click on Home, or if for some reason you do need to create a second profile, you can re-trigger this option by going back to the measurement step, which will show the measurement data saved, and then once again clicking on ICC Profile. We've done this on purpose because we don't want people to be stuck in a loop creating a profile over and over again. Now simply click on Home, and you'll be taken back to the main screen of your i1Studio software. And once again, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy your new application and have a wonderful day.